Hey guys, it's your girl Aisha, aka Geek XX Chic, and I'm back with another reaction to Cloak and Dagger. Yes, this is now episode 6. I'm just doing these episodes back to back because I am 2 weeks behind thanks to a little run-in with some laryngitis, but I'm back, so I want to get caught up so we can continue rolling with this good show. This one, I am looking forward to seeing where we're going to go from here. The name of it being Funhouse Mirrors. Funhouse mirrors, of course, are very famously known for their distortion. You know, they've all been made so that every time you step in front of a different mirror, you can see a different version of yourself that's not quite the reality. And of course, it's been used for millions of metaphors out there as far as the human condition and things like that. So I think we're going to get a lot of... This show is very big on metaphors. Like we've already seen from the episode with all the montages, even the last episode with the way that Hope kept seeing people's... Tandy kept seeing people's hopes. There we go. They do like to use symbolism and metaphors a lot in this show, so I feel like we're going to get more of that in this episode as we see them kind of peel back more of the layers of the plot. So, without further ado, let's jump into this episode because I'm very excited to see where we're going next. Okay? Let's go.
So we're doing a reading.
Oh, her again.
I'll go things with that.
And why do you need me?
I ain't smelling sex on you, but a connection to a power. Power I felt in that boy.
What does Tyrone have to do with anything?
Girl, you just called her out and having sex with her face.
For.
Yeah, right? Don't take it all so hard. You're gonna find the right path for you. I know it. I gotta get back to you. You stand tall, young buddy.
Do you think he's legit with not wanting to get him involved in this? Boy, you are so obvious.
Yo, what you think you're doing?
Right?
You better watch yourself.
Exactly.
Unless you want step 2 right now.
But I think we gotta understand the past to get an eye on it.
What does this have to do with Ty?
Right? The point, ma'am.
Because I got an itch. And it's telling me that story may be your man's.
Spill the tea, sis. What's up?
So now we're visiting each other.
All up in your house.
Going swapping to get close to this girl whose dad survived the rig explosion.
Oh!
She's an environmental scientist.
Wow, fake glasses for full effect. Why are we here? I feel like we're not gonna find sea life here.
My new oven is a fickle beast. Burn everything. Then I recalibrated the thermostat and now... Yummer. Cookies are tricky like that. They really are.
It is science.
You ready to get to work?
Don't let anyone tell you
Okay.
different. Bye, side piece. That looks like it feels great. In New Orleans swamps, girl, not for all the money.
Leave behind only a queen? Like magic.
Oh, magic. Just science we don't understand.
You heard this?
Really? In the world of Marvel, girl? You're in the wrong show.
Start thinking like the other guy, you live a little longer.
If you start thinking like the other guy, you might slowly become him.
Ooh! Saw that shade coming. I don't like this. I don't like it at all, guys. I'm not happy.
I won't be able to run tests until we start pumping, but my dad said it burned 10 times better than oil. And it's twice as hot. Pumps in the old rig couldn't handle it. Drill should have stopped, but it didn't. And then it lurks.
Your heat shield? It's malfunctioning. I don't know what's wrong with it.
Okay, I'll check on it.
Your heat chill. Wow.
All right.
If that's not a metaphor. What? This brother's worst fear is the devil? What kind of Japanese ring shit is this? The hell? Tyrone, you... Boy! That was savage! Awesome.
You always talk about a point of no return.
There's always a point of no return, darling. It's called the end.
Okay. You know, your
Well,
auntie's
back.
kind of a downer is all I'm saying, girl. Like, you need to get her some chamomile or something.
We'll finish up Kev's run. See if you really want all this.
I feel like this guy actually does not want to do this with you, son. Like, the Lord is trying to save you. Even the devil's trying to save you right now, boy.
What does it feel? Don't touch it. Trust me.
I'm about to get stung to death, girl. You better move this. Interesting. Chose not to invade that brain. Okay. Probably should have, though.
Hey, Justice.
Justice is for white people in some other place.
Dude.
No, that's here.
Woo. He said that. He said that. Okay.
Bet your dad loves it. Does he live nearby?
Whoa.
Why do you keep asking me about my dad?
Calm down. Yeah, you're going too much, girl.
You're not Liz. You're Tandy.
Thought the girl was stupid.
Stealing that radio. When you jumped in the lake to save Billy. Oh.
How'd you know that?
Every day, you kill my brother all over again.
Damn!
Come on, man. You
Take it,
better
Dick.
than this. Justice? For Billy. So he didn't just die for nothing.
Damn. Tyrone came with a sermon today, y'all. You wasn't ready.
I think he's looking forward to seeing you.
So does her dad have powers because he survived too? Maybe. That actor's so young. No way is he her father.
I'm sorry I lied to you.
Do they just let anyone in a nursing home, FYI?
Can you just tell me?
Careful. Let's not blow everybody out of this nursing home. Are we in his happy place? It needs a trim. It's very, very overgrown. The gardener should be fired. Don't touch it. Don't turn it. No. Stop it. So is he stuck behind that? Maybe his mind is behind that valve?
I'm so sorry that I can't help you.
I wonder if it would take her and Tyrone to get through that thing. Go, boy! Woo! Okay, so he's seen that twice now. That can't be good. Interesting. Poor kid. Wow. Okay, they really need to figure out a way to not, like, why are they repelling each other? That is so weird. Oh my gosh. Okay, wow. That one really picked up towards the end. I did not expect that to go down. Poor Tyrone. He's witnessed not one, but 2 murders now. This boy can't catch a break. This boy cannot catch a break, man. Oh. Well, that one was called Funhouse Mirrors. And yeah, we definitely got some different perspectives on a few things. While it didn't necessarily go the way I thought it would with the symbolism in this particular episode, I did like that it kind of gave us more perspective on a few things that we didn't really know before. It was particularly with Tandy. I think her story is the one that really got the biggest perspective. I guess if you want to look at it in the sense of a Funhouse Mirrors, you know, distorts the reality. Both Tandy and Tyrone had distorted versions of kind of what was going on with certain things. Like with Tandy, she kind of had a distorted version as to what like was going on with what her father's involvement was with Roxxon. Like she always knew her dad was innocent per se, but meeting Mina and getting to hear her side of like what happened and hearing that, you know, her father knew along with, you know, along with Nathan that whatever they were drilling for was too volatile and that they needed to kind of back up. I think Tandy kind of always knew her dad was innocent, but really didn't know what to believe because obviously we had all these people from Roxxon trying to cover it. And I think she also wondered whether or not Mina's intentions were pure as well, because Mina seemed like she was right in Roxxon's pocket. Spending the time with her that she did with Mina, she got to see that this girl is just a normal girl who has a lot of aspirations and who also potentially is looking to kind of right the wrong that happened, right? And it kind of makes a lot of sense because, like, I didn't realize that her father had been, Mina's father had been in the explosion, and the fact that he survived it, but as you can see, for all intents and purposes, he's catatonic. That's the only reason that, like, you know, the Hess family didn't lose everything the way that Nathan's family did. It looks like Roxxon realized that if they had gone after Hess the way that they'd gone after Nathan, that it obviously would look bad on them. Like, this man injured in a bad explosion, catatonic, has this little girl. So they were probably like, okay, we'll just give her money and give her a job and keep her quiet. But also because we want to continue doing what we're doing. So interesting, we heard that, we might as well, sorry, I was going to kind of go over the, like, everything in my notes here, but I might as well just keep talking about the whole Mina's dad and Nathan, Tandy's dad thing, because it's kind of huge to figuring out kind of what caused the explosion, first of all. Like, now we know at least what caused the explosion, but also potentially why, you know, Tandy's and Tyrone's powers are the way they are. We heard that Mina's dad was a fluid engineer. So whatever they were digging for is what he must have been analyzing. And we don't know how far he went. We don't know where, like, you know, we don't know much more other than that, but clearly that's his relationship. He must have been analyzing whatever the fluid was, whereas Tandy's dad was the engineer who was engineering the drills and the pipes to try to extract whatever this fuel source was, and then eventually figure out how to use it. So that conversation that we heard on the phone, the very first episode, was probably Tandy's dad saying, you know, explaining what Mina explained this episode, which is that whatever it is, it burns 10 times hotter than regular fuel, so they couldn't use the traditional drilling and piping methods to extract it. And they didn't, obviously, Roxxon didn't listen. Explosion happened, a lot of people died, hence all the money being gathered in the last episode by the Scarborough guy. And then scapegoating Nathan because they did this against the advice, and I mean, the only person now who could advise against it that could really say that would be Mina's dad, who's catatonic. So that works for them, and Nathan's dead, and dead men tell no tales, right? So it's very interesting to see how the conspiracy is coming together as to why Roxxon's gone through all this trouble to cover up the explosion, but the extraction hasn't ended. So that's why they're so passionate about killing anybody or killing anything that gets close to exposing what they're still doing down there. So all we got about this substance that they're looking for is they're saying that it is 10 times hotter than oil and it's a new energy source. But that's not what they're telling the public. They're telling the public that they're just drilling for a new oil source. Clearly they didn't want to tell the truth because A, they probably think they're onto something that could change the entire economy of the world. I mean, hello, oil is still one of the biggest resources on our planet today. So if there was a new resource that was better and more efficient and more robust, it would turn the economy on its head. But also, if they admit what they're doing, that would make them automatically admit culpability to the fact that they knew about this substance and caused an explosion that killed dozens of people. So all kind of coming together with the Roxxon conspiracy now, and why they're so adamant to keep everybody who was involved with the original experiment as tight-lipped as possible. And all this talking about digging for a new energy source that's below the earth, I can't help but think about Runaways. Runaways, they talked about same thing. Remember, oh gosh, his name's completely out of my head, but Sparkly Girl's dad, real dad, sorry, the names are completely gone right now. He was saying that, like, he got, but anyways, the parents, the Latin parents that got killed, they were the ones analyzing the energy source that was found that was supposed to be like the new source of energy. So same thing, digging a massive hole to get it, very volatile. Do you remember the parents said, it's very volatile, it's very dangerous. We don't think we're getting what we think we're getting. What's going on? So I'm wondering if these sources are potentially linked, because thank you for the people in the comments who told me that in the comics, Runaways and Cloak and Dagger are linked. They do exist in the same universe, and this is the same people who made Runaways have made this show. So I think we're definitely building up for a potential crossover in season 2, potentially of Runaways, not of this show. But I mean, maybe it's going to continue. We'll see. But I just feel like this is the link between the two shows loosely right now, is whatever this energy source is and its volatility. That's been brought out in both of them now, and both of them, you know, are underground. So very interesting. I like that we got that little piece of information, and I'm going to take that as an Easter egg to how we're going to potentially delve into the Runaways world. Other than that, we can kind of talk a little bit more about Because I mean, Tandy's story didn't really have a lot outside of just getting more information about what Roxxon's up to. But Tyrone's story is really where, again, the Funhouse Marathian, he'd always had this lens of how he looked at his brother's best friend, and I did not write his name down, sorry, but he obviously idolized this guy and thought that, you know, these guys, my brother's friends were the greatest. My brother would probably be running a business with them if he was still alive, and we could all be together, and all I wanted, you know, like he has Billy on this pedestal and everyone that was kind of in that group on his pedestal from when he was young. And for him to have that all come crashing down, to find out that this friend is actually in bed with his brother's murderer, like that was a huge distortion, you know, like that was a huge thing that kind of got cleared up for him. I didn't really agree with him going undercover. Like Tandy keeps telling him like, yeah, go run some drugs for a while to see what you can find out. Yeah, you should just go and infiltrate. Tyrone ain't got them skills, girl. Like, you forget that you've been grifting for like a while, man. Like, you've been doing this for a while. Tyrone is a good kid. He never did this before. He's an honest kid for the most part. Yeah, he's got some rage issues, but he's genuinely a good kid. He does not have the skill to do that type of espionage. You know what I mean? You can't be throwing him in there. Not to mention, especially a couple episodes ago when we heard him talk about the difference between him and Tandy in the sense of privileges. You know, he is a young black man in the South. He cannot just go and be doing things that the white girl in the South can be doing. You know what I'm saying? Tandy does something like that, she's looking at a slap on the wrist as a misdemeanor first offense. Tyrone does something like that, he's looking at potentially life in jail. Like, it's not even like apples and oranges. It's so far across the board. And I feel like Tyrone needs to stop for a minute. And I get it. I get it. We heard him say it again when he was saying to that guy, like, my parents think I'm a liar. They think I'm crazy. I question my own sanity about all of this because of all that went down. And you're telling me this whole time, you know, that you knew. Like, I get that he's desperate to kind of get this justice and to prove his innocence. But Tyrone needs to take a step back and realize he can't be doing it like this. Like, it's not going to work out well for him, especially until he gets a better hold of his powers. But I thought what was very interesting here is because remember when he got, you know, laid up with that one guy and the gun was put to his neck, he thought that his power would kick in because it worked when, you know, when Tandy pushed him over the edge in the last episode, but it didn't. So I don't think fear is the same trigger. Like for Tandy, it was fear that kind of triggered hers. Clearly not exactly the same thing with Tyrone. I think he needs to feel like his life is actually in danger. And while the guy with the gun was scary, I think he knew the guy wasn't going to shoot him because if he wanted to do that, he would have done it already. I think it's very interesting that his power took over for him in this episode, right? When the cop started shooting at him, he kept, I love that he kept kind of fading in and out. The run was kind of funny. I gotta admit, he kind of looked like he was a man jumping through a cutout a couple of times. I'm not sure if that was about it or that's just the way they kept rendering him coming out mid-run, but all that aside, I think it was very interesting that his power came to his rescue when he wasn't able to pull it on it himself. So it's definitely looking out for him right now, whereas Tandy's is very much an active, you know, she actively takes control of her powers. So far, it's been very reactive when it comes to Tyrone. So he's gonna have to figure out a way to use it to his advantage. We saw him slightly do it with the boy, the drug runner that he took the bag from. He actually got him into the nightmare, so to speak, and kept him there and just kept amplifying it. That was kind of crazy. I was like, okay, Tyrone, I'm seeing this dark side come out of you now. You know, because he kind of comes off, Tyrone kind of comes off, I was like, I'm a little angry, but I'm generally a good kid. He's got a little bit of a dark side, and he definitely fed into it a little bit in that little scenario. But that was the first time we've seen him kind of take control of being in that world. But we still need him to get a hold of that teleporting because it's going to get him into some serious trouble. But it does make me wonder now, the cop has seen Tyrone disappear twice now. So I don't know what's going on. I don't know if he knows who Tyrone is. That's the thing. I'm not sure if he actually knows who Tyrone is yet, but he's seen Tyrone in action now. So what he's going to do about it, or if he's going to do anything about it, is interesting, or if he's just going to think, I did one too many lines. I got a little too high before the shift today. Maybe I didn't see that. I mean, he did. He must have seen that Tyrone has disappeared. Not twice Tyrone has disappeared from right in front of him. So what he's going to do with that information, or if he's going to all out come after Ty now, is definitely the question, because he's now witnessed 2 crimes that this man has done. Last 2 things, there was all the sequences with the creepy voodoo aunt talking about how there's a storm coming and reading the cards. I kind of was a bit bored with that, to be honest, but I get it. Like, she's obviously going to be the conduit for helping Tyrone figure out where he's coming from. Interesting that she gave the prediction that one of them was going to die. We all know that in shows like this, death is not a permanent state, but We'll see. Maybe you guys can tell me if Tyrone actually does die in the comics at any given time, but I have a feeling that his link with Tandy is not going to allow that to happen, but it'll be interesting to see where that goes and why she made that prediction. Very smart on Tyrone's new girlfriend to recognize right away that she was not the other half of the divine pair. Bless you, girl. You know, he like you and stuff, but you're not in the divine pair, baby. Not this time. And then the last thing, of course, with Mina's dad, we saw Tandy go into his mind, into his hopes, and there was a locked valve door. And when she tried to touch it, she had the exact same reaction that she has whenever she touches Tyrone. So it seems like I'm thinking her and Tyrone will have to touch him together, because whatever happened in that explosion, I think somehow locked off something in him, whether it's his personality, whether he's trapped in his own mind. We don't know. Maybe it's a whole other dimension for all we know. But I'm very interested to find out what exactly is going on with that valve and what's going to happen when her and Tyrone tap into it, because I think that we're going to get some interesting answers about a lot of things when that happened. Another great episode, guys. Not quite as much fun as the earlier ones. I'll be honest, I didn't quite like it quite as much as some of the earlier ones, but still good, and we got a lot of really good exposition, which is what I always like with these type of shows. So what did you guys think of the episode? How do you feel the pacing is going with the show so far? Do we feel like we're still doing all right, or do we feel like we need to pick things up a little bit? I feel like we're doing all right, but this one definitely I feel like could have moved us a little further forward than we got. And if you like this video, guys, please click like, and if you want to see more from this geeky face, please click subscribe. Until next time, see ya.